Hello everyone, this is Chase Pounds. I know lately I haven't been making a lot of videos lately, mainly because I've been busy with work and just haven't had a lot of time to do a lot of videos. But in I today's video, I'm gonna be doing discussing about the Titanic's unknown sister ship, the Britannic. Why I chose to discuss this topic is mainly because tomorrow will be the anniversary of when the Britannic sister ship sank. Some of you may not be familiar with this, but Titanic had the third sister ship called Britannic that sank during the outbreak of World War One. To give an overview about this is that there was really three sister ships of the Titanic class liners, which was built by the White Star Line. One was the Olympic, her first sister ship. The Titanic came second. Then there was plans for a third ship called Gigantic. But in the wake of the Titanic disaster, the name Gigantic seemed to be showing a sense of arrogance, and in some cases, to some people, I heard considered a form of showing off. So I thought it was more appropriate just to rename the ship Britannic. The ship Britannic was actually designed to be more safer than the Titanic, having more safety features such as more more accessible amounts of life, or should say more of a more or more of ex, more extra lifeboats, as well as more equipped watertight compartments that were in some cases built all the way up to the boat deck. And yet the features of the luxury features kind of similar to both the Titanic and Britannic. But with the outbreak of World War One, she was refitted from her luxury she was fitted out of her luxury art decor into a hospital, served the makeshift hospital ship to help the wounded soldiers during World War One. And she was on patrol, I think, in the Mediterranean seas, and that's where she would last meet her fate. And the Britannic would unfortunately meet her demise, and what some people suspected to be a either a torpedo or a mine, more likely a mine. And the unfortunately the ship would sink. Unfortunately, the ship would sink even faster than the RMS Titanic. And even though the even though the even though the even though the ship sank, even though the ship sank faster than the Titanic, it wasn't a much loss of life. There was a few casualties. It was unfortunately a couple of passengers that were killed supposedly by the ship's propellers, mainly because the ship was still moving, because the captain saw land. He thought he could possibly try to beach the ship there before it went down, but unfortunately he wasn't successful. And just as the ship was still moving, lifeboats were already being launched, and a lot of them were being sucked by the suction of the force of the propellers, causing them to crash, and people were unfortunately chopped by the propellers. And I think it was the case with two lifeboats. One of them was actually in this boat was actually a survivor of the sinking of the Titanic. Her name was Violet Jessup, and she was on the Olympic when it rammed into a it rammed into a naval ship. I think the USS Hawk, I think the name of the ship, or the HMS Hawk. I mean to say HMS Hawk. And she was present in both these three disasters, and she both survived remarkably. And she and And with the Britannic, she was about in one of the lifeboats. They're about to be dragged by the propeller. To split decision, she decided to jump off the lifeboat, and she jumped in the water. Yet though she was kind of sucked under for a moment, and she almost had scrapes and bruises, she was somehow pulled up under, I guess, by a sailor, I think, and she was one of many of the survivors. Though though there wasn't at the sinking of the Britannic, there was an investigation inquiry about what happened to the ship. Me always speculated there was a mine. And quickly the case was closed, and this incident was most likely forgotten, with the war still raging. And the ship wouldn't be discovered until 1975, 10 years even before the famed sister ship Titanic was found, 1985. And this wreck was discovered by Jacques Cousteau, and Cousteau, and the wreck still, I think, remains today. It was also speculated that discovered wreck that some watertight compartments were still left open, which caused the ship to sink at a faster rate, and portholes were left open as well. And the Britannic became the subject of many documentaries and films. There was a made-for-TV film called Britannic. There was, I think, came on the BBC channel. Unfortunately, I saw the film back in 2013 on YouTube. I didn't think the film was all that great, because of the acting and the poor computerized special effects, and the historical inaccuracies of events. Though it had a lady that I think was based off of Jessica Ketter, who survived the Titanic disaster and lost her husband. To some, the story of the Britannic and her fate of her three sister ship, which the Olympic would also meet its fate in 1936 when it ran aground and was scrapped, which the ship was one of the remaining class Olympic liners, the White Star Line. And shortly after the Olympic scrapping, the White Star Line itself business went out of business. Yet to some, this seems to be a curse. Some people speculate there was a curse, or the White Star Line was jinxed from the start. But a lot of people point out that it was just a mixture of human arrogance and bad human error that led to the demise of all the three of the Titanic class ships. There's another video by Chase Pound. Stay tuned for my next video.